No one ever said Disney movies were only made for kids. It seems that with so much of the adult humor slipped in, the filmmakers know very well how wide of an audience their films receive. Children may be savvier with each generation with the help of social media and websites that sneak through the parental blocks, but some adult humor still goes over the head of a lot of kids. There are some kids movies that only insinuate something naughty, while others are anything but subtle. Here are 10 dirty jokes hidden in famous Disney movies. Beauty and the Beast. Sometimes Disney doesn't have to make a single joke to be dirty, but creates an entire character that seems a bit too adult for young minds. Babette is a French feather duster and an oddly sexualized character when considering she's a household cleaning tool. Luckily, the end of the film shows that being attracted to Babette is not without merit, as the human version is quite a catch. However, she is still animated, so it's not a wholly rational attraction. Beyond illustrating a provocative French maid duster, which is clearly a reference to the sexual fantasy of a scantily clad maid with a saucy accent, she also has a physical relationship with French candlestick Lumiere. Their sensual exchanges are much funnier to the older crowd. One disturbing moment in the film shows a man plucking the feathers from Babette's lower half. Since her feathers are her skirt while she's a duster, the man gets a little too aggressive and handsy for a kid's movie. So while the presence of Babette is an amusing joke, the treatment of her occasionally crosses the line a little. Hercules. Greek tragedy and Disney don't seem like the most logical pairing, so it was a bit mind-boggling when Disney's Hercules referenced the play Oedipus Rex. To be fair, the character of Hercules is the son of gods in Greek mythology, so mentioning the play almost makes sense. In the film, Hercules speaks with his love interest Meg, where he brings up the tragic play of Oedipus the King by saying, "That play, the Oedipus thing, man, I thought I had problems." It is a brilliant joke for those aware of the Oedipus story, and considering the film's many other allusions to Oedipus, like the journey to Thebes, which is the same place Oedipus is king, the film certainly has layers. Even though the film is a tale of characters from Greek mythology, noting a play in which the main character murders his father, marries his own mother, and then gouges his own eyes out at the end is not kid stuff. The reference is one of the slyest dirty jokes in Disney films, as it's only inappropriate for those who know the story, and only the most inquisitive kids look into the meaning of such a wisecrack. Toy Story. Toy Story was the first Pixar film, beginning the long tradition of kids' movies often loved by adults just as much. In the film, through a series of unfortunate actions, Buzz and Woody end up in the home of the world's worst neighbor, Sid. Sid uses his toys for demented experiments, including taking them apart and attaching random pieces of toys and other items found in the home to create whole other horrific objects. Sid has problems, or perhaps he's an up-and-coming found art genius whose work isn't appreciated just yet. Anyway, one of his pieces is a pair of Barbie doll legs with a hook for a torso. It's certainly a strange creation, but it's also a pretty clever play on words, seeing as it's literally a hooker. The Pixar animators were probably pretty proud of themselves, not only for being clever, but also slipping in possibly the dirtiest dad joke we've ever seen. Muppets Treasure Island. The Muppets have always been more than just foam and fleece. Even though they're puppets and usually keep their material family-friendly, everyone can enjoy Kermit and the Gang. Muppet Treasure Island wasn't released by Disney, but it was their production. The film is rated G, which suggests that it's perfectly fine for general audiences, but leave it to Miss Piggy to be the naughty one with this dirty joke. After Kermit returns from sea, Miss Piggy apprises him of what she's been up to while he was gone. This includes spending time with other men. It all seems innocent enough, as she's just a young and vibrant porcine around town and deserves the company of men, and she doesn't specify the activities. However, things are cleared up once Piggy and Kermit run into Long John Silver, and Piggy emphasizes the word long, to which Kermit asks, "Him too?" The joke both assures audiences that Miss Piggy was not keeping things platonic with her gentleman callers, and it also gives audiences too much information about what's hiding under the pirate's trousers. Inside Out. Inside Out is a sweet family film about growing up and had plenty of adults crying like children. The actual children were probably not nearly as touched by the exploration of pain and adolescence. As the many emotions who hang out inside the mind of a young girl, characters such as disgust, anger, and sadness spend plenty of time together. Just like any work friends, the characters get into a lot of discussions that may not be directly related to the task at hand. One of these moments is when Fear asks whether the sound they heard came from a bear, to which Disgust informs him that bears do not live in San Francisco. Anger notes that he saw a big hairy guy who he thought was a bear. A bear is a common term used in the LGBTQ culture for a certain type of burly and typically hairy gay man, and considering the film's location of San Francisco, this is obviously a wink to the community. The joke in Inside Out isn't scandalous, nor is it especially dirty, but it was definitely a joke that was just for the adults in the audience. 101 Dalmatians. Live-action adaptations of cartoons or animated films can sometimes feel bizarre. When audiences have grown accustomed to the animated classics, any actors or sets may seem surreal. Disney's live-action version of their 1961 perennial favorite stars Glenn Close, and she gives a whole new generation of children nightmares as the puppy killing in the name of fashion Cruella de Vil. There are a few jokes that somehow made it past the censors in this one, such as the puppy napper telling another that taxidermied animals give him a shrinky winky, making audiences rest easy that the dog nappers are not complete weirdos who get their jollies from stuffed roadkill. However, the movie's dirtiest joke deserves a spot on our list as it concerns bestiality. After Roger and Anita share their exciting news of expecting a new baby, Cruella de Vil doesn't say much. When they let her know that they're expecting puppies, de Vil responds, "Well, you've been a busy boy, haven't you?" While it's obvious that the puppies are the work of Pongo and Purdy, Disney managed to fit in a pretty filthy and disturbing joke in a children's movie. The Avengers. The next dirty joke is so hidden you'd need a British slang to English dictionary to even catch it. Since The Avengers is rated PG-13, it can get away with a lot more than some of the other movies on this list. However, even with a more mature audience, not every insult can be so blatant. After the Avengers team captures the bad guy Loki, he can be seen seething with hatred, which is directed towards Black Widow. He mumbles to himself about how the Avengers are failures and provides a few more forms of mockery. One term he uses for Miss Romanoff is a mewling quim. Now that may not immediately activate any alarm bells in your head, but for those who may not know, quim is a word in British slang for female genitals. Loki is basically calling Black Widow a whining, well, you know. So while Loki's "See You Next Tuesday" slam isn't exactly a joke in itself, the way in which it was slipped in is hilarious. Toy Story 3. Since the Toy Story franchise is rife with innuendo, it seems impossible to narrow down the dirty jokes. Buzz Lightyear's excitement in Toy Story 2 displayed by his erecting wings is a solid example of Disney's naughty immaturity. But we don't want to forget about the one that may be overlooked in Toy Story 3. In Toy Story 3, Andy has grown up and moves away to college. Since he has no use for his toys, they end up as donations in the local daycare. As toys begin to interact with the other toys that have been there for years, Barbie meets her dream man Ken. As the two walk toward each other, the attraction is palpable. That's in part because the scene is in slow motion with the song Dreamweaver playing in the background. As the two give each other compliments, Barbie says, "Nice ascot." Sure, Ken is wearing an ascot, but we suspect Barbie's emphasis on the ass was no accident. She was pretty obviously admiring Ken's derriere. Cars 2. The newer films made by Disney seem to only be dirty for those who are aware of modern terminology. One example of this is an event that takes place in Cars 2. The beat-up old cars are having a party. The cars in question are in the style of Pinto and Pacers, which are well known for being lemons. The fact that all these cars are together while also using lemons as their centerpieces is what many would consider cute and even funny. However, for those who grew up with the internet, the term lemon party is something completely different. Deep in the dark underbelly of the internet, you may find that a lemon party is not exactly a squeaky clean Disney event. We won't spell it out for you, but if you're curious, you can search it for yourself. But please be sure to keep the safe search on, and whatever you do, do not look at those images. Zootopia. Disney's 2016 smash success Zootopia is beloved by critics and audiences for its endearing story of a smart and motivated rabbit reaching her goal of being the first bunny police officer in the big city of Zootopia. Judy Hopps is laughed at for her big dreams since she's an animal of prey and bunnies are not known for being tough. She is tough though and never says quit. Although she makes it through the police academy, she's given the dull and unglamorous job of meter maid. Judy knows giving animals tickets for petty crimes is beneath her as she has the fire in her to stop real crime. Since she puts everything she's got in everything she does, she is dedicated to doling out tickets too. Zootopia is definitely appropriate for kids and it teaches them useful lessons about acceptance and working hard to achieve what you want. But it also gets a prime dirty joke in there for good measure. While adding up the fines for Nick, the sly fox, Judy recounts all the fines together and states, "I might just be a dumb bunny, but we are good at multiplying." The look on Nick's face says everything. It is a naughty joke for such a nice bunny. So there you have it, 10 dirty jokes hidden in Disney movies. What do you think of our list? Were there any dirty jokes we missed? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one.